I, Donna Manson, returning officer for the Inverness and Nairn Constituency, declare that the total number of votes given to each candidate was as follows. Burgess, Ariane, Scottish Greens, 2,636. Ewing, Fergus, Scottish National Party, SNP, 21,793. Grant, Rhoda, the Scottish Labour Party and the Scottish Cooperative Party, 5,370. Greg, David, the Scottish Liberal Democrats, 2,892. MacDonald, Andrew, Restore Scotland, 361. Mountain, Edward, the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party, 12,679. There were 137 rejected papers. Therefore, I give public notice that Fergus Ewing is duly elected as the member of the Scottish Parliament for the Inverness and Nairn Constituency. Fergus.
Returning officer, friends, may I first begin by thanking you and all your staff for the efficient conduct of the count and also the teams working elsewhere in the Highlands, notably throughout all the polling stations in this vast area for the very long stint that they have put in yesterday to secure the execution of democracy. Could I also thank the police and the other emergency services for their help, although their assistance wasn't required in earnest, I'm pleased to say. And can I also thank my fellow candidates for the way they conducted themselves during this campaign, albeit it has been a muted campaign without the heat of hustings or the hurly-burly of door-to-door canvassing. An election without that electioneering has been a first for me. I want to pay a great tribute to all my team, my activists throughout the constituency, for their unstinting work on my behalf, including my friend and colleague Drew Hendry, a tireless leafleter in all weathers, mostly subarctic in the last few days at least, and in particular my own team, Rebecca, Rosie and Danny, for their tremendous support and effort over this past few months of this campaign. And I wish to pay particular tribute to my election agent Danny Nicholson, whose work has been diligent, determined, devoted, and I could not have asked for more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no less an honour standing here today in my 8th election and 6th election as the MSP for Inverness and Nairn Constituency and its predecessors than it was in 1999 when I first had that privilege and when I won with a majority of just a few hundred votes. It's a bit larger than that now, and I hope that I've got the hang of the job by this time. The essence is working hard for every person in this constituency, irrespective of their views or politics. That's what I've sought to do, and my intent to carry on doing that is no less diminished than it was 22 years ago. There is a great deal of progress that we have seen in Inverness and Nairn, and indeed in the Highlands, over these past 22 years. The Scottish Parliament and its work with the Highland Council, returning officer, and all the public agencies and businesses has secured great progress in the Highlands. But there is much more to do. And for me, that is unfinished business. And therefore, I offer myself for these next years to continue that work. Finally, I am both humbled and heartened by the vote of confidence placed and entrusted in me by the electors of Inverness and Nairn Constituency, and I will do my utmost to do the job to the best of my ability. Many thanks.
I'd love to say it's a great pleasure to stand here, but it's not because Fergus beat me, but congratulations, Fergus, on doing so well. I'd like to congratulate all the fellow candidates that stood with us to be elected. It has been a very strange election. I have never been at an election where the first time I met one of the candidates was in the count hall. And hopefully we won't repeat that, and we will be able to go out and do the hustings in the future. I'd like to pay a special thanks to you and your staff, Donna, who've performed admirably in the hall. But as Fergus pointed out, it's not just those in the hall, it's those people in the village halls yesterday, some of whom were shoveling snow to ensure that voters could get out to vote. So thank you to them and to all the emergency services and the police for ensuring that the vote went without problems. And finally, I'd like to spend a special thanks to my team, especially Anne Anderson, who has been struggling to get about, but has led us to the situation where we've increased considerably our vote share. So thank you to all of them, too many to mention. And also thank you to all those people who thought I was worth voting for. I'm truly humbled by the number of people that did. Thank you very much.
I would also like to congratulate Fergus Ewing on his success today and pay tribute to all the other candidates who had a very good election campaign. I'd like to thank the returning officer and all her staff, and indeed everyone who works as part of the election campaign, be it the media who are here, the police, and the many others who make an election a success. Can I thank my agent Ron Stevenson for his help, and also my campaign team and my staff that have helped me over the years. MSPs must work hard, but their staff work actually even harder serving the people in our community, so I want to thank them and my family, husband and friends for their support. This has been a terrible time for many people, and actually I feel quite blessed being reasonably unscathed by the pandemic, but many have lost loved ones, have lost jobs and are worried about their future. The next Parliament must bear that in mind and must work for those people, rebuilding a better, fairer society so that we can all go forward together.
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Fergus for winning today. I'm not sure he'll thank me for pointing this out, but Fergus first ran for election in Inverness and Nairn before I was born, so he's definitely in it for the long haul, and I expect him, and in the event that Edward and Rhoda are re-elected on the list tomorrow, I expect that they'll be a brilliant team for the Highlands and continue to work cross parties they have done in the Parliament. I'd like to thank all the team that have helped me in my campaign, particularly my agent Thomas Pragg, local councillors Alec Graham, Trish Robertson, Caroline Caddick and Alistair Christie, who've all played an excellent part in the campaign and have worked very hard. And I'd like to thank everyone here in the building, returning officers, those doing the counts, the police, the staff at the Leisure Centre. You've all made today a very, very comfortable experience considering how long we've all been here, and thank you very much for that. Finally, I'd like to thank the the thousands of people who've actually voted for me. This is my first time standing for election, and it's an incredible privilege to be here, and I feel incredibly lucky that so many of you thought I was worth putting a cross in a box for. So thank you very much.
I'd like to say thank you to Donna Mason for running such a wonderful count. I felt safe. It was efficient and well organized, and everybody who was here tirelessly counting all these ballot papers. Thank you to everybody who participated in that process to allow democracy to take place, even under these difficult circumstances. I also want to thank my fellow candidates. I've really enjoyed encountering them on Zooms and in various situations online where we could discuss the issues for Inverness and Nairn. And I wish Fergus all the best with his role in the Parliament, looking after the people of Inverness and Nairn. I also want to say thank you to the people who voted for me, for the Scottish Green Party in this constituency, because that is a vote from people who recognise that we are in a climate emergency, we are in a nature emergency, and I look forward to real action in the next session, in the next 5 years, real action on these emergencies and not just talk. We have 9 years left to turn this around. Otherwise, we will be facing irreversible, catastrophic climate change. I absolutely believe it is possible for us to recover from COVID economically and environmentally and respond to the climate emergency as we do it. People in Inverness and Nairn across the region are brilliant, innovative, and if they're given the right support, they will be able to take the action and do it for themselves. So thank you to everybody who helped us run this campaign, and congratulations to Fergus.
Thank you. Thanks very much to Donna Mason team and all the officials and police for conducting this in such a well-organised and efficient way. I represent the 1.5 million people who voted to leave, and until short ago there was no party advocating independence for Scotland and for staying out of the European Union. In our view, it's not in the gift of any political party to make the decision on behalf of the Scottish people. We are quite unique in Scotland insofar as the people are the sovereign body, not Parliament, and certainly not any political party. Having said that, I acknowledge the democracy and congratulate Fergus on his win today and the behaviour of the other candidates in the election. Our nation, our beloved nation, stands at a crossroads this situation has never happened before, where our neighbour England, if we achieve independence, our neighbour is out of the EU, and we would have to face almost insurmountable obstacles to walk either the path of the SNP or Alaba, which is slow road to Brussels. And I stand asking for the Scottish people's consideration of a momentous decision that lies before them. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here today.